Hi guys, I did go onto eBay, and here is the results. It's not going to be the best, I'm afraid, because I just can't get focus. Anyway, so here's the first coin, certificate of authenticity, which I sort of I don't remember the Royal Mint giving certificates like that. That's the Royal Mint certificate there. So that bit I'm just not sure about. There's your coin. There's an updated or clearer. That number might be worth investigating. Not that it really sort of worries me, because there's the actual certificate, the silver proof. So there's your actual coin now, and let's see if I'm going to have to, whether it won't drag it down. Bit of a pain. Oh dear. Right, so going back to that image, I can tell you that there's stuff going on there that says that's not proof. Although it's in a capsule and it's seated in its black surround, there's some things that are really wrong with that. And the first thing we look at is this here, these two lines. There's no way they should be there. And not, that's not very good at all either. In actual fact, it's just ridiculous. And then we come down to here, and we seem to be getting a reflection of this, the thistle. So you then have to double back on yourself and say, well, is that a reflection of something? But that is definitely not a reflection. So there's, I'm just trying to look, there's no double edge that I can see. But of course this is in its capsule, so you have to be very careful. But it looks, like I said, I don't know what these lines are. Really weird. It can only be on the plastic, I would assume. But this is the first coin I've seen without a double edge. The only thing you do see is the reeded edge. Well, that's not a double edge. That's sometimes the reading, the way you hold the camera, the reading picks up. But that is definitely not right. That there is definitely not right. That I can't say. You need that in front of you. So now let's go to, oh, it's jumped. Now here's the other side of it. Now hang on a minute. Right. So we've got to do this backwards. Right, there's the head side. Now this really looks very dodgy. We seem to have this on the inner edge of the coin. That just doesn't look right. That really does not look right. If that's a proof silver coin, I'd want my money back. The beading, as far as I can tell, is okay. Now, what this is, I don't know. It's 2 lines of beading. And I don't know what all this is here. Whether this is on the plastic or not, I have no idea. But that is most certainly, if it's on the coin, that's really bad news. Really bad news. Because it ain't right. But then, let's get that blown up. It has to be on the coin, doesn't it? And again, if this is a proof, and it's a silver proof, which they're claiming, the beading's is definitely not right. But there's all this going on here as well. I just don't get it. See, that should be inside, like this. I would be screaming merry hell if I got this described as a proof. But this is what I say about when they're in the plastic. If they're in any casing, you got to try and prove that, and it's really hard because you can see that the casing, the coin actually goes under the casing. What do I mean by that? This is the outer part of the coin. I haven't got any. I've got no casings like that at all. You see, this is flat. This part here is flat, and in that part is where the coin sits in, like this. Look, there's dots all over the bloody place. It's not there, it's here as well. So I can only assume that the beading there is reflecting to there, and the beading there is reflecting to there. And this is just not right. So I've got no idea what's going on there. That I have got no idea what's going on. Nor that. I can only assume that that's dust. So that means, or implies, that it's not right. Yeah, see, look at her chin. Look at around that area. This is all being reflected. So you really got to be careful. You've got to look for things. There's no, if that's if that's a double header, it's a treble. I don't know how the person's managed to do this with the camera. But I find that absolutely, if you, excuse me, if you got a coin like it's worth a fortune. Yeah, it's got to be some sort of reflection, but that's not. And there's no way I would accept that on that principle alone. That's proof, or silver proof. Yeah, see? Hang on a minute, I'm going to lose that, aren't I? Can you see that there? That's the beading. No. Oh yes, it could be. It could be that could be the reading is reflecting. So it's really quite impossible to tell really what is what from a photograph. That looks perfect. The cross line looks perfect. The upright line is also perfect. I can't see anything wrong with that at all. And yeah, but again, you've got the opposite now from the other side, that just that bit there isn't right. It's hard work. It's hard work because you've got lines here, look, but that's a reflection of that. And all those lines going down like that is a reflection of that. So there is actually nothing I can say about that until you've got that coin in front of you, I'm afraid. That doesn't mean anything to me. The portcullis on its own, I thought, was Westminster. But I'm also sure that Westminster had the Westminster underneath it, under the portcullis. So I can't say about that either. But that's the original certificate. Tells you about all the details. There you go, like that. But maybe they started giving maybe they've sort of changed it from this being a certificate to that, which is fine. It just sort of, as soon as I saw that, it called it into question. Anyway, so next one is this one. This is out of a packaging, but by the looks of it. Again, pretty good. Only this time we are seeing a double edge. I'll tell you what, again, you could get really confused. That is the shadow of the coin. So again, you really have to be very careful about what's what. But these are all proofs. See that? Now that double, what I call the double edge, is actually the reeded edge. That's not a double edge. The The reeded edge is just where you're getting you're precisely over the top of the coin, and you can see the reeds. So that's not a double edge, that is an actual reeded edge. Just going round. Everything looks really good. Everything looks really good there. Can't grumble at that. If you've got that in your collection, you'd be well over the moon. See how funny that is? The edge there, you can't see the reeds. Or you just about make them out there. Isn't that funny? But that's not a double edge, that's the reeded edge. And I tell you what, they'll be as sharp as flipping, I don't know what. But they really are. When you get a coin that's proof, you can really tell it's proof by the sharpness of those reeds, because they are absolutely pristine. But I'll tell you something that's wrong with this coin, and if this is supposed to be a proof, then I don't know. It's just this beading. This beading here is all wrong. This is like what seeing a technology coin. I don't believe this is in a case, so there's no way that should be like that. And for the people that say, oh, what does it matter, you know, it's bulk stand, this is supposed to be a proof, and worse, even worse, a silver proof. If I got that through the post, or I bought, well, I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy it if I could see it. And I got that, I thought I would be shouting blue murder, because that's disgraceful. No disrespect to the seller. If it's all out of kilt, then that's fine, you know. But no. But that's the best part of the coin. Best picture of the coin. Yeah, but you can easily get confused, can't you? But you can tell that it's distinctly teeth, which is the actual reeds. But this part, this side of the coin is absolutely, you know, spiffing. There's nothing wrong with it at all. This is how what a proof coin should look like. Right, let's move on to the next coin. Another coin set in its black. Whatever that stuff's called, I'd love to know what that stuff's called. It's like a foam, but it's not. When you take that out, the inside is white. So it's a layered top on white, but I don't know what the heck it's called. Now take note of that if you can see it. I'm sure you can. That is the same as the other coin we saw. There's your reading. So it's not a double edge, that's reading. Everything lines up. But there's all this bitty stuff going on. I just don't get it. don't know. The writing goes out. Yeah, it's hard to say, really hard to say. Let's get this one in. This is beautiful. Now this picture is beautiful. Look, I'm not so sure about. I'm not so sure about the edge on this one. I know that you can see the teeth. I think this is just the angle. But do away with that. Forget about that. Let's look at this. Crystal spanking clear. Beading all intact on the inner side. At least. Let's have a look. Oh, hang on a minute. I don't think it is. No, I'm wrong. The beading does creep up on the outside. And actually, I would call that into question. Hard to say because you can't see the coin. It's hidden because of this black insert, which you're going to see there. That's what it's inserted in. But there's something dreadfully wrong with this coin, and I can't, other than the beading. But because it's in a plastic, what are they called? Capsule. It's hard to say. You're struggling to sort of try and find it. And I'm still struggling with some of that. Like that, you can tell it's the reading. I wouldn't be happy with this coin. I really wouldn't. And all this here, this stuff floating around inside is didn't I do this before with eBay? Wasn't it when I was doing the proof sets? And one of them had all this white stuff floating around on the inside. It shouldn't be floating around. Simple. That should be nice and clear. And go to the other side. See, that's not a reeded edge. That's not a double edge. It just looks like one. See there, and there you can see the reeds. Again, this part of the coin is perfect. I would think, to be honest, that this one is the best. And this is the third coin, and they're all exhibiting the same sort of things. This is the same seller. I don't know. Right, let's go to another one. Now that is nice. Now you talk about the online coin club. That is beautiful. That is just the shadow. It's all to do with the light. There's your reeded edge. Can't see it so much there, but you can there. And around there. Alright, so it's one of these. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look. Spot on. Spot on. I hope this is as well. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. It isn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too picky. I don't know. But you tell me. You tell me. If you got that in your coin collection and it was proof, do you really think that's proof? I'm sorry. I'd want my money back if I got that. And this one's definitely not in a case, but it's a lovely picture. Everything's really good about it. Okay, the lettering gets close to the edge there, but this seems to be bulk standard. But again, it says if that's close, that's why the beading is as it is. I don't know. I really don't know, guys. Now look, here's this has been graded PF69 by the NGC. Now, that is lovely. That you cannot fault until we see the beaded side. That is brilliant. There's your no, there you go, all intact. So there is your image that you can go by. That's what you can go by. That's been graded. The beads, from what I can see, sit where they should be. No double edges. Brilliant. So there's your standard that you want to go by, that coin. That's what you want to go by. And everything looks pucker. That is spot on. The only thing I don't like about it is what these little plastic or whatever card holding it into place might hold something like an edge knock or something, but they wouldn't dare, I don't think. I don't know what a 69 is, because they have their own grading system. But that's it, that's what you got. That's perfection. And we've got one more. Oh yeah, this is awful. That's a tab, so you can lift it out. I don't believe these are the two same things. There's something very odd about this. Right, so let's go. Right, let's go. So we're seeing the coin out of its packaging here. I'm going to reserve judgment on that, but that doesn't look right. Okay, there's the camera. There's the camera. Look, there's the two. There should be three lenses. But at least says he's not wobbling all over the place like mine would be. Again, he's got the same thing going on here. That does imply a double edge. Even if that's reading, you can see there's a distinct difference. It's not like if you can see the reading there. You're getting, I don't know. So you can't get that IRB. It's terrible on a camera, phone camera. So now he's got brilliant light. But that to me looks like it's in one of those cards. Do you know the cards I'm talking about? Oh, what have I done with mine? I haven't got one to hand. I don't know what I've done with them. Oh, I think I know where they are, but I'm not going to start doing that now. Again, that looks quite good. In fact, it looks very good. That doesn't. There's a good sign that the beading's not correct. There. You can see that it's shifting from one side to the other. That's all good, and it's coming away. It's coming onto the top of the coin there. Hang on a minute. What we just done? Oh, we jumped to this. It's not the clearest of pictures like mine. But everything else about it is pretty good. That's pretty good, I've got to say. The only thing I don't understand about this is that there's no silver rim. So I don't understand that. Maybe that's the difference between a proof and a circulated coin. Yeah, see? You can tell there. And you can also tell that the rim is wide there and thin. And then you have this here. You can't tell whether that's the reeded edge or not. And then this is really very odd. This is a capsule in whatever that is. The coin itself, see, that's a reflection of the reeds. It's fantastic how the way a picture is taken affects everything about the coin itself. Look, you can even actually see the M. That's unreal. You can see the M, and so that's Kingdom. That is phenomenal, but it's really odd. I've never seen a coin from the Royal Mint like that. Yeah, but look at that reading. You can see it's clear on the plastic. So the problem arises in a coin in a capsule is everything is being magnified or reflected, if you like. But that is phenomenal. You can actually read the lettering. To see the M as clear as that looks like an R. Kingdom. Not so sure that that's correct. But I don't know. That's rather odd to me. And then the same thing here, look. Fantastic. But what the heck is that? What the heck is that? I know I'm doing that with my cursor. What is that? That line. That's a long hair, if it's a hair. And if it is a hair, it tells you that that's been opened. Because no way would the Royal Mint handle this here. So it's really a minefield, and the beading's off as well. Comes up here, goes back, and then goes just comes. You know, this is what you get. This is standard Royal Mint crap. It really is. But I've never seen that in all my life. If it is the Royal Mint, they've done a successful job of being able to read the inscription without having to look at the reading side. But that's wrong. You know, and if the Royal Mint are going to say that that's proof, then like I say, what I've said at the very beginning of all of this, I'm glad I don't collect coins anymore. If I was one of these authenticators on eBay and I saw that, I'd throw it out. I'd say, no, that's not proof coin. The only thing that gives it credit is that line may be statically charged onto it. I don't know, but then it doesn't explain that. So the last one we got is, that's the list. That's where they've all been taken from. So you can make up your own minds about that. And that's what we've seen with the Corn Club. And look at the difference. There's no double edge there. That is the actual edge. There's nothing here. And that's the difference. With a double edge, it's inside. But there you go again. The beading goes off. And there's a double edge. That's the double edge. So, I don't know, guys. You can't take my word for it. You have to make up your own minds. Oh, and this is probably cut off and gone into a double part. I never kept an eye on it. Yeah, all I can do is say to you, just be careful. And I'll leave it at that, guys. Thank you very much. Sorry for dragging this out and whatnot. I hope I've proved something to you. Proved.